Okay, so welcome back to the channel, Papa Quartz Zip Tie Garage. We're going to be working on the 98 Forester again today. We're going to be putting a new front brake caliper on the front. This one's hanging up. I've fixed it and freed it up once, but it's time. I got the part, so we're going to throw it on there today. So anyway, so we'll get started. Here we go. Okay, here's everything you need to do brake caliper replacement on a 98 Subaru Forester. That's an impact. You can do that with a breaker bar. You don't really need impact, but it helps. 19 millimeter for your lug nuts. Wire brush just to clean up your hardware on your old caliper and hardware if you need to do that. 1/2 inch drive ratchet. With a 17 and a 14 and an extension, a flathead screwdriver, breaker bar possibly, 3/8 ratchet with a 12, a 14 and a 17, torque wrench, brake clean, and brake caliper grease, and that should get the job done for you. And some DOT3 brake fluid too. You'll need a little bit of that as well. All right, we got to begin by taking the lug nuts off. These are 19 millimeter, and of course you need to get it up on jack stands. If you don't have a lift, obviously we're using a lift today because I can, and I'm too old to sit on the ground anymore. So anyway, so your lug nuts are all 19s. You can do this too with just a breaker bar or probably can't do it with just a regular ratchet because they're probably on there too tight. I think these get torqued to like 90 foot-pounds. I usually just go 2 ugga-duggas on the impact, but it's all good. Anyway, do that, and then we'll take the tire off. I think I'm going to rotate the tires today too while I'm at it. Alright, let's see what we got. So I believe our sliders are hanging up, or our piston is, one of the two. I think it's a piston. I've actually greased the sliders and everything. So anyway, but just make sure there's nothing else funky going on. Everything looks really cool at the moment. All right, let's get this off of here. Okay, gonna get this caliper off here. Your 2 bolts are 14 millimeters, and so you got to loosen those up. Probably get an extension on this top one because it, anyway, to get it through the brake line, brake hose. So anyway, those are 14s, so we got to take both of those off. Pull these off, pull these bolts out, and then your caliper ought to just come off. You might need a screwdriver, work it back and forth. You can also push in on the pads a little bit, but this will come off. I'm gonna get a screwdriver, hang on. Get a screwdriver so you can pry it out in a way. Tell that this is hanging up because it's tighter than it ought to be, even coming off of here. So that's why we're replacing it. All right, we'll just set this up here for a second. Probably hang it up there. These are brand new pads, so we don't have to replace the pads. So they're all good. We're going to pull them off of there. We'll have to transfer our hardware.
Oh, stop. Something shut out. I didn't touch it. Is it still on?
Yes. Okay, now we got to take off our mounting bracket. Get that off of there. I think those are 17s. Okay. See in here. Back here, your mounting bolts. Right back here on the back. One here, one here. And those are 17 millimeters. So we got to loosen those up. And those should be pretty tight. So you might even need a cheater bar. Get them off of there. So we'll see. There's that one. Oh, I'm gonna need an extension on that one. All right, on this top one, I got a breaker bar on it because it's a little tight. So anyway, got that loosened. Good. Then we'll zip these out of there with the ratchet. Okay, mounting brackets off. Sliders move free, so it's got to be the actual caliper that's bad on there. All right, we'll have to move our hardware over. All right, we're going to separate our new caliper, and actually we need to kind of compare, make sure we look the same. I'm not taking this brake line off yet because I don't want to lose as little of brake fluid as possible. Yep, that looks pretty good. All right. Now then, we got to take this off. Transfer our hardware over, our brake pads. So we're going to take our bracket off, our mounting bracket. And we need to compare those. Should look just like that. Yep. That's good. Alright. So take a screwdriver, you gotta pop off your tins. I will clean these up just a little bit. Put them back on. Anyway, so there's our old bracket. New ones just pop into place. Actually, these are not new. I'm not replacing the brake pads because the brake pads are virtually brand new. So we don't need new brake pads. And the rotors looks good too, so we don't need to do that either. So we're just going to transfer all of our hardware to the new caliper. And off we go. But you may need to replace your pads. I don't need to at this time, so we're good to go. Anyhow. Alright, I'm going to clean that up just a little bit. Just like that. Our new, or whatever, our used pads, but if you're doing new pads, they'll go in as such. I am going to lube those a little bit though, put some brake stuff on there. Some brake lube. A little bit of caliper grease. And our sliders go. little bit on the back here too. Rear caliper after the presses. It's all groovy cool. This stuff is nasty though. It gets black and gooey. Just like today. Try to get the other one in without knocking the other side out. Okay, there we go. Those need to be spread out quite a bit. Something just like that there. All right, let's go ahead and put this on the car. We can do that. Take our caliper bolts. Kind of hard to see where they line up, but if you can get like the bottom one started, the top one will go match up easier.
Can't see what you're doing.
So you can see where it goes matches up the hole right there. And their top one will go back in right there. Once you get the bottom one started, it's easier to start the top one. You'll have to wiggle it a little bit probably to get it to line up just right. You can usually feel it when it goes into the hole. Get it started by hand, like such. All right. Again, these are 17 millimeter. We'll just snug them up here, and I'll tighten them up with the bigger wrench. I'm sure there's a torque spec on these. I'm not sure what it is. So what we're going to do is going to go German tight. You know what German tight is?
Yes.
German tight is Guten tight.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get them Guten tight. You seen how hard they were to come off? That's basically how tight they need to be. So basically, put about all you got into it. I don't know what it is. Probably 100 some odd foot-pounds. Maybe not that much. I probably should look it up. I'll look it up and post it.
Let's see if we can see the foot action. Oh, last time you had foot action with that good and tight, but okay. No foot action. Oh, there's the foot action. I missed it.
That's silly. That's silly. All right. Here we go. Good and tight. Now we'll take our new caliper. We'll slide over like such. Stay right there. The new bolts. Same thing, you get one of these started, the other one's easier. That one there and that one there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, let me tighten these up too. Now these don't get crazy tight. I'll look up the torque specs and post it. Again, these are 14 millimeters, snug them up. Just like such. And I'll probably tighten those with a 3/8 inch socket so I'm not over tightening them. Again, I'll put the torque spec. Again, kind of a German tight deal. There we go. Okay, so we're assembled there. Now we got to take our brake line off of the other one and try not to make a big mess. So here's our brake line. We got a banjo bolt right there, and that looks like about a 12. So let's see what we got there. It is a 12, just like I've done this before or something.
That bolt right there.
Yep. So sometimes they'll come with a new banjo bolt, or new. If you get if you get a new brake line, you get a new banjo bolt. I'm not replacing my brake line, so therefore we got to reuse the other one. So as soon as we get this off, we need to get it on as quick as possible. There's also a stopper on here, so we need to pull that off of the new one so we can transfer as quickly as possible to not lose any brake fluid. We will have to bleed this when we're done back.
Do you need a bucket?
No. Here we go. There should be a couple of pinch washers in here. We'll make sure we don't lose those. So there we can see the fluid coming out. Should clean that up a little bit before I took it apart. Actually, I think I will. Put that back in there real quick. I'm gonna clean that up a little, brake clean. All right, so now we'll take this off. Again, it's 12 millimeter. Transfer it to our new caliper, trying not to lose. There's a compression ring right there. Hey, that baby's crusty. Don't lose this little ring. Crusty in there. Well, you crazy thing. Okay. There we go. Girl's been on there a day or two. All right. Make sure you get both of those compression washers back on there.
You want to show me what you're talking about?
Yep. These little copper compression washers, one on each side of your banjo bolt. This is called a banjo fitting. Come over here, Lori. So you can see how it goes down into this slot right here. There you go. Get it started. Your line goes in that groove. It's a 12 millimeter. We'll tighten it up. Trying not to lose all of our brake fluid at the same time. Again, this isn't crazy tight. It's just tight enough to, we'll check it in a little bit and make sure that's not leaking. This is our bleeder valve. So now we're gonna have to go bleed the brakes. So that means Lori's gonna have to jump up in the car so we can bleed them. So let's go get set up for that. Okay, Lori's getting in the car and I'm just checking the brake fluid, make sure we're full. I'm gonna top it off a little bit to the max line, and because we will lose a little bit. There, it's over full. That's perfect, as Derek would say. Oh, that's too much. Perfect. Anyway, all right, so Lori's in the car. Gotta roll down the window so she can hear me. Okay, you ready to go up?
Yes.
Okay. Safety third. Yeah. Got Lori in the car going up. so we can bleed the brakes. Is it what? The weather's fine down here. It's probably hotter up there. All right. So our brake bleeder valve is right here, and I've got like an IV running to catch all the fluid. You can do this with just a towel to catch all the fluid that may come out, but I got this a little. And this is, so our bleeder is an 8mm, and I don't remember where I bought this caliper. It might have been from Parts Geek, or maybe 1A Auto, I don't remember, but it was online. So I bought two of them at the same time, so I've already replaced the driver's side. Anyway, so here we go. Okay, Lori, pump it up. Okay, hold it. Hold it. Okay, got nothing yet, so we got to get fluid into the caliper. All right, pump it up. Okay, hold it. There, we're getting fluid. So we just want to go till we get bubbles out. It's actually pretty good. So, all right, pump it again. Hold it. One more time. Okay, don't see any bubbles coming out, so I think we pretty well got it. We'll do it one more time just for good measure. All right, Lori, pump it up. Hold it. Okay, I think we're good. All right, pump it up. You got plenty of pedal? All right, good deal. Okay, we'll tighten that back up. You don't want it crazy tight. All right, I got to get Lori down from the high places. I could have got a lift with one handle on one side, but it was like $600 more. And so I was like, how lazy am I? So I can't pull over and pull a cable. Anyway, so we'll get Lori back down here, and that should be it. We should be all done with that. I am going to rotate the tires, but you don't need to see that. So
Forrester's got new accessories.
yeah, so a little more things happening on the Forester. All good to go. All right, Lori, can you jump out of there? Jump out of there. Check your brake fluid after you bleed them. Make sure you're up to the fill mark. So I need to add just a little bit to mine, and then take some brake clean and clean all this up, because brake fluid is highly corrosive. So you don't really want it to get on any of your other parts where it's not supposed to be. All right, so I think that'll do it. And then you just put the tire back on. I think you can realize how to put the tire back on. And all that noise, I'm going to rotate the tire, so I'm not putting mine back on just yet. Anyway, so we'll probably post more videos on the poor old 98 Forester. That's Lori's daily driver, but she should have good brakes again now and be ready to roll. So anyway, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Remember, safety third.